Let's say you have a performance with several instruments and lots of layers, and you want to do something like assign a MIDI controller to adjust all of the filters across the whole thing. That is quite complicated to set up and takes some time in LayR previous to 1.3. Now you have this new macro panel that overlays the mixer when you press the macro button in the master strip, and it gives you 12 parameters that you can assign to any control in LayR. If it's assigned to a control in one layer, it's then automatically assigned to all of the others. These dials relatively adjust the parameters in the layers according to how much you turn the dial. So the center position is the default state of the performance. So and it works by, if you turn it clockwise from the center position to maximum, it adjusts all the parameters in the layers so that they go from their current position to their maximum position. And inversely for the other, anti-clockwise, if you go down to the minimum, it takes them from their current position down to their minimum. Double tap to set the center position. You can assign MIDI controllers to the parameters in the macro, the dials in the macro, and they work on the channel that is the performance channel that is in settings, in this case 15. So you can even control globally now parameters across all of the performance using a single MIDI controller. Double tap to set to the center, or you can go to the reset button where you can choose to set all the dials to the center, and that puts it back into its default state again. Or you can adjust the dials, the macro, to some position you like, press the reset button and say set the center to the current state, in which case the center now becomes the state to which you had before. And when you save the performance again, it'll be saved to that state. You can assign the dials to MIDI. You've done that one, sorry. You can to assign the dials to parameters, you go into any layer. Let's say any layer, it can be any layer at all. Once you've done it for one layer, it's copied to all the others. And you'll notice that some of the dials have now got little green M's next to them for macro. That means that these dials have been assigned to the macro. And the way you do it is if you want to assign, let's say we wanted to say mix a filter 1 to 2 to a macro dial, we could go to the link dialog, the link assign dialog, by long pressing on the dial you want, and then you choose the macro you want to put that parameter on. And you can put them on more than one macro too if you want. I've never found a reason to do that yet, but it's possible. So that's how you assign dials to macros. It's very simple. So if we look at the filter cutoff, we'll see it's assigned to macro 1. Go back to the main panel and look at the macro. And if you long press on the filter, on the macro names, you can rename the macros. just as you can on other names. And really that's about it, because it's very simple, but sometimes it produces some really interesting results, because when you've got hundreds of filters running and lots of layers with all sorts of different resonances, it can create some very strange sort of phasey harmonics, which are quite surprising. But in this case, in this particular patch, it's quite standard. So that's the new macro panel, and it's very useful, we found, and we've had great fun testing it, and hope you find it useful too.